Russia fired its biggest ever aerial barrage at Ukraine early on Sunday, killing 4 people and setting the seat of the Ukrainian government in Kyiv ablaze in an attack President Volodymyr Zelensky warned would prolong the war as air raid sirens blared nearly all across Ukraine. Russian forces launched a total of 810 drones, 4 ballistic missiles and 9 cruise missiles in the intervening night of 6th and 7th of September. According to local authorities, at least 4, including a newborn child and a mother, died and 44 others were injured. This attack marked a serious escalation from the Russian side. It hit a building in Kyiv's government quarter. The fire was seen billowing from the building hours after the attack. A helicopter dropped buckets of water on the roof of the building to douse the flames. The building sits in close quarters with several high-profile offices. It houses the Prime Minister's office and close to the official residence of the President. There is less than 300 meters of direct distance between the two buildings.
I am Yulia Sviridenko, Prime Minister of Ukraine. I am now in the building of the Ukrainian government. For the first time since the start of full-scale invasion, Russians struck our government headquarters in the center of Kyiv.
Apart from Kyiv, Russian drones attacks were recorded across Ukraine. Explosions were heard in cities including Kyiv, Odessa, Kremenchuk, Kharkiv, Dnipro, Kryvyi Rih and Zaporizhia. Ukraine claimed majority of the drones were shot down by the country's air defense. According to Ukraine Air Force, they shot down 747 drones and 4 missiles during yesterday's attack. As Russian drones were raining down on Ukraine, Kyiv's drone forces claimed attack on the Druzhba oil pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region. The transit pipeline delivers Russian oil to Hungary and Slovakia, which continue to buy energy supplies from Russia. Poland's Air Force also swung into action to protect its airspace from Russian violations. Dutch F-35s scrambled to protect the country's own airspace around 5 a.m. local time. Russian drones have reportedly violated Poland's airspace during attack against Ukraine. Russia continues to make steady advances in Ukraine. On Friday, Russian Defense Ministry said they seized control of 4 settlements in Ukraine's special military operation zone within the past week. Zelensky described the latest attack as vile, saying such killings now, when real diplomacy could have started a long time ago, are a deliberate crime and a prolonging of the war. He also added that the world can make the Kremlin's criminals stop killing. All that is needed is political will. European leaders were quick to condemn Russian attack. French President Emmanuel Macron says Russia is locking deeper into the logic of war and terror. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said Putin is not serious about peace. European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen says Kremlin is mocking diplomacy. According to Vice President of European Commission Kaja Kallas, Russia does not want peace. European leaders are pushing Washington to put sanctions on Russia. The Kremlin has warned that they are rewriting history and heading down a dangerous path of self-destruction. Diplomacy or war or the battlefield, as things stand, the peace in Ukraine remains elusive.
This attack happens after European officials have been pushing Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the war after 26 of Ukraine's allies pledged to put boots on the ground as a reassurance force when the fighting ends. Zelensky has said he is ready to meet Putin face-to-face to negotiate peace, and he is urging the U.S. administration to issue punishing sanctions against Russia to bring Putin to that table.
Mr. John Erath is a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation. He is now joining us live from Washington. Mr. John Erath, good to see you and thank you very much for your time. Why do you think Russia is escalating this surprise attacks on Ukraine? And because Volodymyr Zelensky is saying that such attacks are prolonging the war.
It's not so much an escalation, but a slight change in Russian tactics. They've gone from frequent attacks on Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities using primarily drones almost every night to now doing it once every 2 weeks, but to make bigger attacks when they do. The headline that you started with in this report was that it is the largest drone attack of the war. It's the largest because they're foregoing smaller attacks in favor of something that's going to grab headlines, that's going to underline the costs of continuing the fight for Ukraine and Ukraine supporters.
What is the message that Vladimir Putin is trying to send across? Because you say that they are targeting the headlines. Now that we've said it's the biggest attack yet, what is the message here that Putin is trying to put across to the world, not to Ukraine?
The message is very clear, and it hasn't changed for 3 years. It's that the cost of continuing the fight is too great for Ukraine and Ukraine supporters, and that Russia is prepared to continue fighting for as long as it will take. This is probably hiding some kind of weakness on the Russian side. It's interesting to note that almost all of what was used in the attack last night were drones, not missiles. Missiles are far more expensive and far more effective. It was a lot of cheap, relatively harmless Iranian-produced or Russian copies of Iranian drones that were over 90% of what was launched at Ukraine last night. So I see a diminishment in Russian capabilities. I see a diminishment in the frequency of attacks, and I think that that is showing some underlying weakness on the Russian side.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Erath, Kaya Kalas says that Putin is mocking diplomacy. Your reaction?
That's a very interesting way to put it. I think Putin is using diplomacy for his purposes. He is trying to get the United States and European countries to give him at the negotiating table what he cannot win in the battlefield. And that is control of not just a piece of Ukrainian territory, but the ability to dictate policy to the Ukrainian government, in effect undermining Ukrainians' independence.
All right, Mr. John Erath, it's good to see you. We'll have to end it there. Thank you for talking to us today.
You're welcome.